What is up, guys? Alex from Lakey Wargames here, and welcome to the first of a very brand new series here on the channel. Today we're going to be kicking off our very first Let's Build episode for a brand new game featured here on the channel, and that is the Middle-earth strategy battle game. And we're going to be building the Dark Denizens of Mirkwood. So without further ado, let's jump on in over onto the desk and get on into this very first episode. Okay, so here we are, back on the desk for the first time, and I think probably about a year. I think the last time we were here, we did the tutorial for the simple bases to go with any army color scheme video, and I think, yeah, that's been about a year. So it feels nice to be back on the desk, technically for the first time in 2023, and also what a way to do it with a brand new, first ever inclusive video for Middle-earth strategy battle game, as well as the brand new first episode of the Let's Build Dark Denizens of Mirkwood. So we have lots of firsts for today's video. But enough of that aside, let's just get on into it, and, well, for the reason that we are here, and that is to do the Let's Build Dark Denizens of Mirkwood. So the reason that this video series has come around, and I've got the idea for it, is because I found this lovely little tub gold mine in the loft the other day while searching for some Age of Sigmar stuff and digging through some old paints, and I come across this, which just on the surface looks like a terribly grubby, dusty tub because it hasn't been touched in years, but inside of said terribly dusty, grubby tub is my very old love project of doing an entire army for Lord of the Rings with spiders. Yeah, it gave me the creeps too when I first opened it and realised it was full of model spiders, but the project idea was something that I really liked and wanted to do at the time, and I said to myself, if I finish off other things then I will get onto it, and then I just sort of fell deeper into the Age of Sigmar rabbit hole and never really came back. I think the last time I played Lord of the Rings games was when War of the Ring was still a thing. I don't know how long ago that has been since that game's like come and been, and I know it's been rebranded as The Hobbit since, and then it got rebranded as Middle-earth strategy battle game. But even after all these years, I think this game system has one of the most fundamentally fun rule sets to it, and I really love the fact it feels really skirmishy. Everyone's kind of an independent operator, and that really can lend into the sort of hobby side of it as well, in that case for me. And it's something that I think that now I am ready to jump back on into. Got a lot of Sigmar stuff on the go at the moment, so this is a fantastic excuse to have a break away from that, and why not start with something that I've got pretty much brand new on sprue and in the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty this out for you guys, and then we will jump back in when we can see what's inside of said grubby box. Okay, so here we are back, and this is I haven't taken it all out completely, but you can see what is in there. What we've got is we've got two of the resin Mirkwood spiders, so there's two frames make one kit there. So we've got two of those. We have inside this tub here, we have 12 of the old metal giant spiders. They're just a nice two-part top goes on the bottom like so. Gonna need some green stuff for this heavily because metal miniatures are a bit hit and miss, but obviously we can see that there's big gaps in the sides, and with the idea that I sort of having in mind, since I've re-seen these, we're going to want to do some converting anyway, so we're going to need some green stuff. In this side here is Shelob, who is probably one of the most hellish kits ever. If I remember correctly, this didn't come with any instructions at all. It's completely metal. That's, you know, the main case of her body, which is nice and simple, but then they gave you all the legs separately. You don't know where any of the legs go, so it's kind of a guessing game to put her 8 legs on. And obviously being completely metal, it's going to require a lot of pinning and a lot of know-how. Had a quick brief look online about using Shelob with the rest of the spiders, because the Dark Denizens of Mirkwood are just basically the spiders, fell wargs and bat swarms, I believe. Shelob is part of Mordor, I want to say. Someone can let me know in the comments below who's more well informed on the current in and out of the Middle-earth game, but I believe Shelob is technically a separate faction, so we might not have to jump into that straight away. But we've got 12 of the giant spiders here. For some reason I have 14 bases for them, so that means I've either lost 2 giant spiders or I've just gained 2 bases out of nowhere. Again, it's been so many years, I don't know. But we've got 12 giant spiders, 1 Shelob, 2 Mirkwood spiders. This here is the model for the Spider Queen, who is, you know, fully metal. Gonna need a lot of green stuff to get the legs in there nicely, but thankfully not as much of a pain in the butt as Shelob is. And we have the 3 spider broodlings there, and then we've got 4 of these large bases, 2 for the Mirkwood spiders, 1 for Shelob, and 1 for said Spider Queen. So we've got a nice little starting force there of spiders. Like I said, I think the Dark Denizens does also include the Bat Swarms and the Fell Wargs, but that's something that we can move on to at a later date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack these back in the box for now, and then we will move on to talking about some of the ideas for the project moving forward and the plans I have in my head and how I think I'm going to execute it and get this army out on the table. Okay, so we are back, and I've left one of our giant spider friends out here as an example for what I'm thinking in my head. So one thing that I really love doing for armies is snow basing. It's something that I'm currently doing for my death armies in Age of Sigmar, for my NIGHTHAUNT and my Ossiarch Bonereapers that you guys can see quite frequently appear on my Instagram. But I really like doing these sort of cork wasteland, kind of like mountain, frozen wasteland kind of scapes by using cork and flock and snow materials, obviously, for a snow base. But I think that this would be something that would look really cool on the spiders. I was thinking of doing sort of a forest, sort of, you know, typical Mirkwood, dark, scary kind of forest feel. So using lots of grass, maybe like wildflowers, tufts, that kind of thing. But I really think that we could do something really imposing by having that sort of cold, barren, mountain-esque feel. So it's kind of like you're already stuck in a horrible tundra, horrible environment that you don't want to be in because it's freezing cold and just, yeah, there's nothing living or anything horrible. And then you come across a bunch of giant spiders, kind of, yeah, something scary. And I think it would look really cool. And I think with the spiders, we're going to paint like a pattern. I'm thinking like ivories at the moment, like an ivory bone, almost like how you paint a skeleton for like the main color, and then using black so it really stands out. So you've got something bright and then something dark to really sort of bring out markings or like the feet and joints of the spiders that you see quite often people paint in patterns. Usually you get like orange and blacks, but I think like an ivory and black would look really nice and also tie in with that kind of snow theme. Like I said, I like to use a lot of cork, and that's the kind of style of cork that I use. I've got an example of bits there, but I've also just got, for those of you who might not have seen, this is my Guardian of Souls from my NIGHTHAUNT for Age of Sigmar, and as you can see, these are the kind of snowy bases. This is just one layer of cork on here. On some of the larger models, you can really layer them up. Obviously, we've got all the tufts added in there. You can hide things like skulls, which we might put into some of these sort of, you know, stragglers that have ventured up the mountain, got lost and eaten by the giant spiders on the way. And I've got the Mortalis Terminexus here, which is an endless spell for Age of Sigmar. But this is what the sort of stone and mud would look like before all the tufts and snow and everything gets all added. But what I was thinking is with the cork, like you can see here, this is a 2-layered part on the side. Down here I've dug like little bits out so you can really texture in the cork and go kind of as crazy with it as you want. But what I'm thinking is something different for the spiders is because they are in this sort of metal frame. Sorry, I've been slightly distracted by the ice cream van, which is just pulled up outside, so I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. But if you can, I do apologise. Okay, so we're back with we were talking about the cork and the bases for the giant spiders. So what I was thinking is on those guys there, you've seen like what 1 layer or 2 layer looks like. But if we get multiple, we can really get multiple layers of cork. You can flatten them all down to sort of this kind of level. So this is like several layers of cork. And as you can see, that's, you know, it looks kind of messy at the moment. But if you were to trim the sides down, really sort of get on in there with a hobby knife and mold these all in together, I really think we could sort of have something on top of the base that is a lot thicker, and then we can have instances where the spiders are actually like climbing. So something like this. Obviously we'd have to cut all the cork, and then I'm thinking we can reposition the legs because these are metal models. We've got a bit of give in them that we could bend them. With green stuff we might have to cut and repose some, but you know, we can sort of have these spiders that are really climbing the side of the mountains and the rocks, and then give that kind of intimidating feel that nowhere is safe, and the rules that the spiders have where they sort of ignore terrain by just moving over it is sort of represented in the models there. On the NIGHTHAUNT examples and stuff, I use these are frozen tufts from the Army Painter, and they're kind of green with a bit of white added onto the tops of them, and they're really cool for, again, doing the sort of snow bases because they look semi-frozen. I was thinking of mixing some of these because I normally just use those, and then I've used these are from the video that I was talking about at the start where we did the simple bases to match anything. I was thinking maybe we can mix and match these two tufts together. Obviously, once we add the snow onto the top, then we've just got a variety of different coloured tufts. So we've got our cork, we've got tufts. I do have this, which is just sort of standard grassing flock. It's something that I use for Blood Bowl teams, but I didn't know if maybe it might look good in just sort of small patches added on to the bases, as well as using the tufts. So the tufts will give us some height. This will obviously be sort of ground floor grass, not glass. But I haven't actually tried that before. I haven't tried putting like snow over the top of normal basing flock like this. So I have no idea if it will look any good or not, but that is something that we can find out along the way. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking at the moment. So I'm thinking we've got our two lots of tufts. We have our grass, we have our cork, and we have our giant spiders there. So that is where I'm planning on going with the sort of frozen theme. If we paint these up in a nice sort of ivory and black, then we can get a really striking colour scheme that will hopefully tie in very nicely. And we're going to be reposing lots of the spiders to be able to fit onto mountains. Of course, not every base is going to be absolutely crazy like that. We only need a sort of handful of spiders in amongst a dozen or so. And we can do that with bigger things like the Spider Queen, for example, and make them look really cool and stand out. And then some of them can be just sort of flat on the ground. Some of them can just be on top of the cork, etc., etc. But that is what I'm thinking with this army. And I'm going to be doing sort of videos and breakdowns and showing you as I'm going, and different episodes will cover different things. So I think next we will have to be doing some of those test bases, see how they come out. We're going to have to clean up that box because everything that is in here is horrible and dusty. So we're going to have to start off by cleaning this out. The old spider swarms here, you could tell where I was going to start this. Got some sand on there, so we're going to take them off and clean them all out. But today was just a sort of first introductory sharing of ideas and where we're going to go. And yeah, Dark Denizens of Mirkwood are on the way. So watch this space. So there we have it, guys. That concludes a part one, which is just, I know it's a short and sort of sweet introductory video, just a little bit of planning here and there, and sort of some of the ideas going through my brain, and the things that we're going to be carrying forward into this sort of Dark Denizens project. But like I said, as the episodes go, they are all going to be different things. So some of them might be building episodes, some of them are going to be painting, but we are going to build this force from start to finish, all expansions included, obviously starting off with what we have here in the box that was on show today, and you guys will be no doubt teaching me things as we go in the comments. Those of you that are probably a bit more in the know with the Middle-earth strategy battle game, leave any comments down below on things that I should be keeping my eye out for in expanding a Dark Denizens force, and I'll be sharing any knowledge that I learn along the way as I'm going, and we will grow and go down this journey together. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I can't wait to get this project underway more and be sharing this journey with you. But until then, stay safe, happy wargaming. Psst. Hey you! Did you know that Lakey Wargames now has an official eBay store? You can buy yourself all kinds of pre-painted and new on sprue hobby goodness and support the channel at the same time. There's a link in the description below if you want to check it out. I'd greatly appreciate it, and it's a fantastic way to support the channel. Okay, see you in the next one.